Greetings to all our friends and students at the Vadodara Innovation Council. First of all, I really want to thank Mr. Vikas Chawla for taking the initiative and giving me this opportunity. My compliments to Vadodara Innovation Council for completing 5 years. Just about 5 years ago, this was just an idea. Under the leadership of Vikas and few others, Vadodara Innovation Council has made a lot of progress in the last 5 years. The fact that they've been able to survive and keep the momentum going is indeed commendable. Vadodara Innovation Council was designed to essentially focus on innovation as the key driver for change, growth, and prosperity in the region. Several years ago, we had set up a National Innovation Council, essentially to focus again on innovation at a national level to drive growth. Today, innovation is on everyone's agenda world over. It's on corporate agenda, university agenda, schools, businesses, trade, government, because innovation is the key to competitiveness, new products, new opportunities, new businesses. As you can see, what innovation has done in the last 50 years to telecom, agriculture, computers, satellites, health, education, transport. Without innovation, we won't have the kind of productivity and efficiency that we had in many of these areas in the last 50 years. But innovation has to be really kindled at very early stage in life. And that's why Tod-Fod-Jod centers that you are all involved in are very important at school levels. Early in the schools, we need to generate curiosity, ability to question, ability to investigate, understand, even simple ideas. Many times we take for granted how science and technology helps us. In fact, very few people really pay attention to how energy works, how telephones work, television work, simple even mechanical device. How does it really work? How do you put together a fan to blow air? How does bicycle work? Cars. And then it gets very complex into how jet aeroplanes work. But as simple as how do we grow tomato or carrots or potato or garlic? And how does biology work in our system? I think these kinds of basic questions need to be asked at school level. And Tod-Fod-Jod Center is all about taking things and learning about how it works. How do we put it together? It is not about breaking it up. It's about really understanding how it works. From basic principles of magnetism, electricity, mechanical forces, energy, biology, little bit of mathematics, little bit of statistics, all of these fundamental principles need to be understood at very early in life. I've seen many grown-ups who don't know how electricity works, but we all use it day in, day out. How do you light that bulb in front of you? How do you transmit a picture on television from point A to point B? What does that picture mean? How many frames? How many dots? How do we get color on television? What do computers do? How does cell phone work? What happens in the back of the cell phone? What you have in your hand is an instrument. But how do you get connected to people from all over the world onto this little instrument in your hand? What happens when you start dialing a number? How does WhatsApp work? How do you think email works? And when I think about Tod-Fod-Jod centers, in my mind comes millions and millions of questions for our young, curious minds. I want our younger kids in schools in Baroda to really begin to question things. And it is not just about high-tech gadgets. We need to really learn how do we get water in our homes? How does sanitation work? How do we purify water? What does immunization mean? Why do we immunize our children? So everywhere you look around, whether it is to do with your food or your health or your basic needs like water, sanitation, energy, infrastructure, everywhere there is science and everywhere there is technology. Everywhere there are gadgets and everywhere there is a need to understand how does it work? Why does it work? How can I modify it, improve it, reduce cost, get more productivity? These are the challenges for the young mind. Tod-Fod-Jod was again a simple idea that one of my friends discussed with me in the US, Indian friend, and he then decided to devote time and energy to take this idea forward at the Innovation Council. Now, it has almost become a movement. Large number of schools all over the country, whether you have it in Delhi or Calcutta or Baroda, are talking about and experimenting and learning through Tod-Fod-Jod centers. I am so delighted that the Vadodara Innovation Council has taken this forward and put into practice in hundreds and hundreds of schools in the area. Lots of teachers are involved. My compliments to all of those teachers for again taking the initiative one step forward in really bringing children together to learn about how things work. What looks like a very simple idea can get very complex when you try to scale it. It is one thing for one little kid to try something at home, and it's another thing to institutionalize Tod-Fod-Jod centers all over Vadodara, in every school and every grade, by a large number of teachers. I think it's remarkable. Some of you may not really appreciate the importance of Tod-Fod-Jod Center today, but I can assure you, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, someday, you'll come across an experience which will say, wow, I'm so glad that I learned these things when I was very young. It will also encourage a lot of young to go into science and technology. We need more of our children to go into what is known as STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. These are very important subjects. Not that art is not important. Not that liberal arts, psychology, philosophy is not as important. But we need both. We need technology people to understand psychology and liberal arts and social science, and we need people in social science to understand technology. And that's what Tod-Fod-Jod Center is all about. Early in life, if you begin to ask questions on how does it work, I think it will take you a long way. Then you'll begin to ask the same questions about relationships, about family, about friends, about money. How do you think banks work? Tod-Fod-Jod Center will take you to those questions. How does Federal Reserve work? How do our courts work? How does government work? What is a port and what's an airport? Take a complex airport at Bombay or Delhi. How does it work? What happens? How do you keep all these thousands and thousands of flights on time, on schedule? All of these things require not only technology, management, but also ability to put it together. Logistics, systems, system level thinking is what comes out of Tod-Fod-Jod Center. What is the input? What is the output? What's the feedback? How much delay in input and output? I believe these are so very fundamental ideas in life, which really puts you on a track of self-learning. At the end of the day, self-learning is the key. Schools can teach you a little bit, guide you, give you direction. Books have some basic facts, but learning is a lifelong process. Learning never stops. Even at 75, I ask same questions that you ask in school. I'm learning like you are learning every day, new things. And if Tod-Fod-Jod Center can begin to at least teach you, young students and teachers and others involved, about few fundamentals. One, fearlessly question about how things happen, why things work. And two, keep asking those questions with deep inside desire to keep learning every day. I believe this will be a great asset to you and to your community and ultimately to the country. Because from this will come great scientists. Maybe one of you will win a Nobel Prize. Who knows? If you begin to question enough, dig, innovate, it'll happen. With this, I want to wish you all a great success, not only at this event, but also in your journey on Tod-Fod-Jod centers. Hope you get excited about some field: biology, physics, chemistry, maths, science, statistics, even psychology, philosophy, and then take deep interest in it. You will really make something happen. I went to school in Vadodara in 50s. I went to college in Vadodara. And I have great respect for our institutions of learning. I think Vadodara is a great city, and you all make it even better. And I want to thank everybody for this initiative and wish you all the best. Thank you.